Hey, super excited to have you in here, and we're excited to get to work with you. I'm going to be super quick in this video and just let you know kind of what the next steps are. So 3 main points for this video: what we do, what you get, and just to show you what some of our most successful clients do to get results so you can be just like them. So we're going to be taking you through every step of the organic social media framework that we use to grow our business from zero to $500,000 a month in the first 3 months, and the same exact systems that clients like Kevin use to be able to close 2 high-ticket clients from a single video that was completely free for him to post. Everything really from setting up your studio and putting out your first professional-looking video like we did for John, to managing content systems that get millions of views per month like we did for Costin, and honestly everything in between. Like whatever you hope to do on social media, whether it's make your first dollar or make your billionth dollar, our coaches have already done. Like seriously, our team has worked with some of the largest personal brands in the world like Dave Ramsey and corporate accounts like BlackRock. And all with just a few hours a month of your time, thanks to the systems that we set up to make this whole process really streamlined and efficient. So our team has worked really hard to be able to put those systems in place and make sure that everything we do, between our training material, best practices, softwares, SOPs, almost daily content clinics, all of that is specifically designed to be the most efficient way to make content at scale. To where once things are in place, you can sit down once or twice a month for like an hour and have all of your content just handled. And it's the same stuff that got Remy 50,000 views on his very first video and helped Whitney dial in her studio to essentially get 40 times more views on basically the same piece of content. And the advice and feedback that you're going to get from my team has already made our clients millions and millions of dollars. But most importantly, it shortcutted a lot of things on social media for them, like it did for Amanda, who 48 hours after her first call posted a video that got 4 million views and got her featured in tons of press, and then of course drove an insane amount of traffic for her business. Like seriously, there's no other place on the internet where you can talk to the caliber of people that you have access to every single day with Viral Coach specifically about your content. And because we've worked with hundreds of clients at this point, we've seen some stuff, and we're going to walk you through every detail of what you should do specifically about your business on social media. But I wanted to provide 3 examples of just exceptionally successful clients so you can see why this worked so well for them. So the first one is Jared. He was spending over 80 hours a month trying to make this work on social media, but despite all that work, he had almost no followers. He was getting almost no views at the time, and he definitely wasn't making any money from social media, and he felt like he was just wasting a whole bunch of time. And so when he made a decision to start working with us, he was honestly just like really desperate to make a change and just needed something to work. And what made him so successful was because he felt like he had already tried everything himself. And so he was extremely open to feedback from our team, who already had the success he wanted with millions of followers themselves. And because of his willingness to take direction, it worked really quick. And so over the next 6 months working with us, he became the single biggest social media personality in his entire niche. Like he gets tens of millions of views every month and has made hundreds of thousands of dollars for his business. Another client was Alex, and so she was actually already really successful on social media. She had hundreds of thousands of followers, was running her entire business off of social media, was making millions of dollars a year doing this stuff. But she knew our team could take her to the next level, so she took action really quickly, ended up getting few 100,000 views later that first week with just a few changes to the content she was already posting. And then one of the first videos she posted with us was actually her biggest video ever. It drove over 9,000 leads with a single video that, again, was free for her to post. Another client, Jay, was actually already really successful as well. He had a very successful business, making over $500,000 a month. But for years, he was trying to make content work, social media work, so that he could double, triple, or hopefully 10x his business. He was spending tons of money on this. He had a huge team pumping out like 15 videos a week, but he was just getting a few hundred or a couple thousand views on every video. So his goal when he started working with us was to get to 10,000 followers and a single 100,000 view video. But because he was already good at business, he knew how to talk to his customers. He blew past that almost right away in the first few videos, he ended up getting hundreds of thousands of views. And there's a couple here that also got 1 million. Yeah, and then one a little bit later on that got 6 million views. And over the course of a few months, he actually built his following by tens of thousands. And it was because he, trusted the process, but also had expertise in what he was doing. So as long as you could be the expert in what you do, we can come alongside you as the experts on content. And another great example of this actually was Melanie. So she's a midwife, and she wasn't able to find almost any other people in her space doing what she wanted to do. She wanted to promote her podcast, and everyone else in her industry was posting a very different style of content. It was like these 3 to 5 second short clips. They didn't have any talking in them, so they wouldn't work for her podcast. But we helped her take inspiration from other successful clients that do run podcasts and combine her expertise with our strategy into a system for making content that was really efficient, worked super well for her goal. So I'm not saying trust our team blindly, but we have an incredible amount of evidence to say that if you just trust our team on content, you will be way more successful at content. The other thing we notice is our most successful clients spend disproportionately more time on the research and planning phase. So understanding what your audience is already watching. Because if you know exactly what type of content is already successful with that audience, it's very easy to recreate it, and we can just make that process efficient for you. The other thing they do is they watch the training material. We've put an incredible amount of effort into our training material to make it as efficient and as dense as possible, removing all of the fluff and keeping only the stuff. But all of it is really useful to be able to have long-term success on social media. And honestly, the most successful clients watch it over and over and over again. So like when you're starting the scripting for your content, watch the scripting module again. When you start running ads, watch the ads module again. When you're launching your VSL or your funnel, watch that section of the material again. And really, the material isn't meant to be watched on like 2x speed while you're driving or like cooking dinner. Take some time for it, really ingest it, take some notes as you go through, and I think you'll get way more out of it. And then the biggest thing is our most successful clients show up to learn. Like I could give you the best advice and the best resources, connect you with the absolute experts in the industry, which we do, but it's up to you to be able to take something away from that and actually execute on this thing for your business. So come into it with an open mind. We've done this hundreds of times before. We've slayed this dragon over and over and over again. And I think one of the most valuable things that we can provide for you is the experience of years and hundreds of clients doing it over those years to be able to save you all of that time that we unfortunately had to spend learning it the hard and slow way. And just like most things in business, you might not get it 100% right the first time you post. I actually think it'd be kind of weird if you did, but working with a team of experts who have solved this problem literally hundreds of times before in niches that I didn't even know existed before I started, you are going to be extremely well positioned to succeed in what is probably the biggest opportunity in your life. Again, I'm super excited to have you here because we've seen this transformation over and over again. And for most people, when they figure it out, social media becomes the most valuable thing they've ever done for their business. Like David, who generated thousands of leads from a single video for his tiny home business, where, each customer pays tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now social media replaces tens of thousands of dollars a month in ad spend for his company with videos that cost him almost nothing to post, meaning the ROI for him is almost infinite. Or Jasmine, who used social media to completely change her personal life financially, but also the lives of hundreds of thousands of Latin Americans wanting to learn about the American financial system. And I know how powerful that is because I see those comments from people thanking her every single day for changing their lives. And of course, getting millions of followers myself has let me build my business with social media to revenue numbers that I just didn't even know existed before I started. So you have an incredible opportunity in front of you. If you're working with my team, you're in super good hands. Look forward to meeting you myself on the calls. Let's get to work.